Hey guys, welcome to our live stream. I hope you guys can hear me well. The wifey is still upstairs getting ready. I've got the pups down here, as you can see Lotus on the pup cam. Oh. Let me actually make the pup cam fix that. Here's Enzo sitting right next to me. Lotus, I don't... Seriously, Lotus? Seriously. So they're a little wound up because we haven't been to the park yet. Actually, there's something on the lens. I don't know if you guys can, if that's clear. There we go, that's nice and better. Oh, and it's super bright now. Now, don't freak out. We're just out here burning some ants before we start. You know, don't worry if you're thinking, how are they gonna answer my questions? Where's the wifey? How's this gonna work? It's gonna be okay. The pups, they need to burn off a little bit of energy, a little bit of steam. And then they said they would take all the questions that you have, right? Come on, we gotta hurry. We're gonna be late. Hurry. Hey guys, can you hear us?
Let us know if you can hear us and see us.
Can you hear Lotus? He's passed out.
Lotus is sleeping right here. If you can see him, his head's kind of tucked down a little bit, and Enzo's over on the cot. Awesome. Okay. Riley, I see you in the chat. Is Nick in here or no? I haven't seen Nick yet. So Nick and Riley are our moderators. They're both usually in here. I know Riley's in here. Okay, so we haven't seen Nick yet. He'll probably drop in a little late. Sometimes he comes in a little late. I know he has to pick up his wife from work sometimes. But both of them are in the chat with us today. They're always here every Saturday with us. We appreciate them very much. So any questions or concerns that go into the chat, Riley and Nick will take care of those as they come through. Riley and Nick have been kind of following along with our story from the get-go. So any answers that they give you, trust the answer that they give you.
It's probably better than ours.
Probably, yeah. We do have an itinerary today like we have been doing. It is actually a little bit of a longer itinerary, probably because I wrote it today and not Will. So we do have some like news and updates to cover with you guys.
I write an outline, you write paragraphs.
Yeah, Will's is like very simple outline, bullet points, and mine are like longer sentences. So a little bit longer on the news and updates today, but it'll be fine. We'll get through it. If you are new to the channel, if you just started subscribing, if this is your first live stream, throw that in the chat so we can recognize you and say hey to you. So I feel like last week we kind of had the same discussion, but we're at over 17,000 subscribers now. So I feel like every week we're like picking up more and more traction on the subscribers. So it's pretty awesome.
It's probably because of Rally.
Yeah, probably because of Rally. I'm surprised she's not down here.
Yeah, she's probably sleeping.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're new, throw it in there. Riley has a document, Riley and Nick both, that is attached to the document that I have. So Riley and Will kind of keep up with throwing your names in here for me, and I'll give you a little shout out if you are new. So make sure that you do that. Anything crazy so far?
Aiden Game says it's their first time.
Awesome.
Krish Patel says it's the first time.
Awesome.
Ratton.
Don't know how to say the last name for sure.
Actually new.
I'm a new subscriber. Awesome.
So yeah.
Did want to tell you guys, if you do the super chats, the lights are linked up, so those should flash in the background for you guys if you do super chat. But super stickers are not going to make the lights flash. Also, if you subscribe when you are in this live stream, it should pop up in the bottom left-hand-ish corner of the screen and kind of recognize you there as well. So just letting you guys know on those. It does not matter to us if it's super chat, super sticker, subscriber. We love it all. So just giving you guys an update on that. All of those things should still be working. Anything?
No, I mean.
Oh, there's Nick. I see him. He's in there now. Okay, awesome. So Nick and Riley are both in there with us now.
The pups and I did the fancy intro. I don't know if anybody fell for
Yeah,
that.
so yeah, I don't know if you guys fell for that or not, but Will tried something new with the intro today, so let us know if you liked that. I feel like you've kind of been planning to do something similar to that for a while now, so finally just, oh, lights are blinking in the house.
Freaking SP.
SP.
SP's gonna go crazy if the courts don't open.
She is. Yeah, SP's a lawyer, and I know that they're like on lockdown for way longer than she anticipated. So she follows us like crazy. She's really kind of like Nick and Riley, become kind of like family to us. And so we talk to her frequently throughout the week, and she really is going to lose her mind if she can't get back in the courts. So thank you, SP. You did not have to do that. Our intentions are to keep this to an hour today. I know I say that every time, and we hardly ever make that happen, but those are the intentions. We're going to try our best. If we go over, we go over. Anything I need to know about in the chat?
Eli likes your hair.
Oh, thanks.
I guess is that Eli? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a hot mess today, really. I just blew dry it and threw it up in a bun on the top of my head, but thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so first thing.
Wait. Oh, it's like, what did I choose that looked cute? Oh, I think he's talking about the Pokemon. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know if I thought it looked cute. I just didn't know what it was.
Didn't know what it was and just picked it.
Yeah.
First thing on the news and update list for this week. So we are obviously still under quarantine.
I can't get a haircut.
Will cannot get a haircut. So today I was like, I don't know what he did in the bathroom this morning, but I looked at it like just 30 minutes ago and I was like, you need to like, I don't know, do something. So right before we started, I was trying to mess around with it. Your hair grows like super fast too, which is a big problem. And like, I feel like I've like seen a lot of people lately like, oh, I cut my husband's hair today or I cut my son's hair today. And I'm like, no, I can never, no. I can shave the dog's butts. And that even is a little sketchy.
Sketchy.
So I'm not sure like how that's going to work out, but you guys will clearly be updated on that because you get to see us every week. I feel like it's going to get really bad.
I normally cut it every 3 weeks.
Yeah. That's the longest I've seen it in a while, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like your gray hair stands out a little bit more when it's
gray hair. Neither does Enzo. Neither does Lotus. I think you are redirecting some fears.
No, there's definitely gray hair.
No.
Anyway, so we're still under quarantine till May 1st as of right now. That's what they've extended it to. I'm hopeful that it'll be over by then, but I'm also not like super naive, so I have a feeling it could be extended even longer. I really hope not, but we'll just kind of take it as it goes. I am still going crazy. My anxiety is still very, very high. I feel like I'm still losing my mind every day just because I don't really get to leave the house. I do feel like we've gotten into like a little bit better of like a routine of me getting up, going to work, you guys working. Like I feel like that's gotten a little bit better.
Because that is the routine.
I know, but
you sleep and go to work.
Yeah. And it's just like, I hate like, I'm in the office, I work for 9 hours basically, and it's like, okay, work's over, and like I walk out of the office and like nothing's changed. Like there's no separation at all. So I'm still going crazy. I'm trying to manage it. Hopefully it'll be over soon. I don't know. I'm just trying to embrace it as best as I can.
Luke Rosal is new. Maximus
Hey,
Prime,
Luke.
first time.
Maximus Prime, thank you. Awesome. Hope you enjoy it.
Whitaker.
Hannah Whitaker, thank you for being your first time.
Ratan says hi.
Awesome. So I know I've been talking the past couple of weeks about how I know that my schedule is going to change, but I didn't really know when it was going to change, so I finally did get that. He's like upside down, like his head is actually upside down. You guys, here, let me move my leg. Oh. Can you breathe? I feel like your nose needs to come out from underneath of there. There you go. Work did finally let me know that my schedule is going to change on the 20th, which is not this upcoming Monday, but the Monday after that. So my shift from the 20th on will be 5 a.m. to 3:30, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So due to that schedule change and me kind of needing to be able to adjust to that, we are going to take Saturday the 25th off from live stream. So I'm giving you guys a 2 weeks notice on that. So I know we haven't taken a Saturday live stream day off in a really long time, I feel like.
Yeah, since before the quarantine, I
Yeah.
think.
So it's...
Or sometime in January, I think, was the last
Yeah,
time.
it's been a few months since we've not done a live stream on a weekly basis, but just to kind of allow me to adjust to that new schedule, I'm going to be like super cranky-eyed, because I'm not a morning person at all. We're going to take the 25th off. So giving you guys a heads up on that. In addition to that, we're going to talk with Riley and Nick this week so that next Saturday when we do have the live stream, we're going to be able to give you guys the new day and time that the live stream is going to happen each week after the 25th.
Tuesdays, 2 a.m.
No. It's not going to be Tuesdays at 2 a.m. He thinks he's funny. He's not. That's not going to happen. So we're going to try to accommodate everybody as best as we can. We just want to make sure that Riley and Nick are still able to be in here with us. So we need to just touch base with them and get a game plan. So we'll let you guys know next week on that. At your guys' request for a What the Pup t-shirt, if you go to our community tab on our page in YouTube, Will has created like a little picture basically and numbered the 4 different designs that I came up with. So if you have not already voted on those, somebody just subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. If you have not voted on one of those t-shirts, do it ASAP because I am probably going to design that t-shirt sometime tomorrow and get that up on Teespring for you guys. So I created 4 different basically designs from like super simple to a little bit more complicated. Lights are flashing.
Zuma the puppy.
Zuma, thank you. Thank you.
She wants to know, do we want to make edits of your dog's love video? I don't know what edits of the dog's love. I don't know what that means exactly.
Yeah, you might want to clarify.
Like if you're asking, do you want to edit the videos? No, I don't need anybody to edit the videos. But I don't know if that's what that's asking.
Wow, the lights have not stopped flashing yet.
It's because Sarah, no question or anything. Just.
Oh, thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
So, vote is what I'm telling you on the t-shirt design so I can get that up tomorrow. It seems like there is an overwhelming amount of people picking option number 2, which is the simplest option up there. Like, literally just says What the Pup down one side of the shirt in, like, very big, bold letters. So it seems like that's the one that you guys like the best, which is awesome because that's just so much easier for me to do. But some of you, and Zuma just subscribed. Thank you. Some of you were kind of worried about the color. So that's not the color that the t-shirt is going to be. On Teespring, like there's 5 million different color options and I always pick as many as I can that look good with the text and the font that I choose. So you'll have a ton of different color options. And then not only that, but I do a set of them with the black font and then I do a whole new set of them with the white font. Because some of you are requesting like specific colors with white font, specific colors with black font. So you'll have all those options on there once I get those, once I get it designed and up. And I feel like once we do that, we'll probably post something like, hey, What the Pup t-shirt is available now. Mm-hmm. So yeah, be looking out for that post. Like I said, I'm really going to try to do that tomorrow. I don't have anything, I mean, even though it's Easter tomorrow, I don't have like anything super crazy tomorrow.
We have family Easter in a parking lot where we're going to stay like 10 feet away.
It's really depressing that like that has to happen, but
we're just going to meet in a parking lot.
Yeah, like literally the whole family. Yeah. And we're just going to like stay our distance and we're getting food delivered from his side, like his mom is cooking. We're going to get food from her in the parking lot. I guess she's going to like set it down, and then walk away. And then we're gonna pick it up and like take it to the car and like sanitize. I don't know. And then my mom is also doing a similar thing where like she's just gonna put like whatever baskets, whatever food like out on the porch, and like we're just gonna drive up and get it all. It's just so weird.
Yeah.
But we gotta do what we gotta do. So yeah, besides like that, we don't really have anything too crazy going on tomorrow. So I plan on designing the t-shirts.
Yeah, because
tomorrow.
otherwise we probably wouldn't have done a live stream today.
We honestly, like, yeah, if
Probably
Easter
wouldn't.
was normal, we probably would not be doing it this weekend because we have quite a few places to travel and people to see on Easter. So yeah, so you guys got lucky this Easter weekend.
Yeah.
Anything
you can't see anybody in the world, but you can hang out with us.
You can hang out with us. Hey, that's all that matters. Let's see. New studio, still coming along. As you can see, still have not painted the walls. We obviously have to wait until the quarantine situation is over.
Order paint. I don't know.
I'm not painting though.
Yeah, I'm not painting it. Yeah.
Neither one of us like to paint at all. Like I envy the people that like to paint because if I liked to paint, I feel like our whole house would be like super awesome paint colors. I hate painting. So I've already got itch. I've already talked to the painter that's going to come in and do it, but we have to wait until the whole quarantine situation is over to make sure everybody stays safe. Wow.
So I did want to answer Zuma's question because they did the super chat.
Okay.
They were following. I guess they do edits for YouTubers with pictures. I'm still not completely sure exactly. Like, I'm just picturing like a PowerPoint with like music, and I'm sure that's not what they mean.
Yeah. So Zuma, if you want to, like, send me an example of something that you do so that like we can have a little bit more of a clear picture. Just send it to me, like DM it to me on our Instagram page, just so I can get like a better idea of what you're talking about. That would be awesome if you could do that.
We just got super chat from Brunch. Sorry, I'm not sure how to say that username. Some of you have some usernames that are just out there.
Yeah.
Like Riley says Riley.
Yeah, like it's just literally Riley's first and last name. That's it.
And then RC Cars gave $5. Says they love to watch. She sits right in front of the TV and tries to play with them.
Aww.
Lotus tries to attack the TV, so.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
I don't know. This pup, he has like the most bizarre personality. Like I thought Enzo had like a fun personality. This one here, it's unpredictable day to day.
Enzo's like, if any of you've seen How I Met Your Mother, that's Barney.
100%.
Like, you don't know what's going to happen. It's probably not going to be good. You're probably going to regret it, but you're going to have a good time.
Yeah, it's never usually good. And like he's just as content as can be, like laying like that. Like he does not care at all.
Oh yeah, as soon as you could let him get up there, yeah, absolutely.
Like, he saw me get the cover out to cover this up so that he could get up here. And, like, he was over there snoozing on the cot, but, like, saw me come down the steps of the cover. And he didn't he? He came up immediately and was like, yep, I'm getting up here. He almost stepped
on Enzo.
He's like, I'm getting up here, no doubt. So, he just a big old cuddle bug.
Nick said, I don't need to worry about it and that you're wrong. I'm paraphrasing. That's not exactly what he said, but that's what we're going with. And Riley's going to shave his head.
Oh my gosh, Riley. Okay, more updates.
Oh,
what?
Got another super chat.
Thank you, Mark. Somebody's name that we can pronounce.
Yeah, I can't pronounce the last name, but
thank you.
Nitro hates people in mass. Does it upset the pups? So we don't actually see people. As much as you see us out in the videos, I mean, when we go to the park, there's nobody there. We've been going earlier and earlier. I mean, this morning we went. I didn't even bring the camera because it wasn't even like enough daylight to film.
Yeah.
And then in the afternoon we'll do something around the house if we have to. But we haven't even been doing our second park trip of the day because I don't want to go anywhere near the parks with that many people.
Yeah, our parks around here, because they're still open, and a lot of states have shut down their parks. Like, I feel like people are traveling from like other states. Even like, I'm like, where are all these people coming from? Like, it's insanity. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we've been avoiding.
I'll give it to you later, but there's their Instagram.
Okay, perfect.
So
Zuma, I got your Instagram, so I'll check it out. Thank you for sending that. Lotus is always social distancing though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to worry about people social distancing us. Lotus takes care of that. He lets people know that we like to keep a solid 600 feet perimeter.
No kidding. Yeah. So, like, if you're new to the channel and you don't know Lotus's story, he's reactive to other pups, other animals, other people, shadows, anything that you can think of. He's reactive to it. And we're working on it. We always have. We make progress every day.
Yeah.
But since we've had him, like, social distancing in public is pretty normal for us. So he kind of handles that.
The lights flash when people do super chats. Somebody was asking. I think Riley answered it, but just so
if you do super chat or you subscribe, the lights don't go off. But there's
super
something.
Chats,
yeah. Yep.
Speaking of which, somebody's asked us a couple times, but I don't think it's very obvious in the videos. But the FJ window is really small. Like, it looks bigger, I think, but when you actually look at it from the inside of the FJ, and because of the spare tire covers it over, could Lotus get out the window? Theoretically, I guess, he can fit his head through, so theoretically, maybe he could get it.
He wouldn't land, though.
But he's not dumb, and he knows that's a massive drop.
Yeah.
Like, I really, Enzo
would not fit.
I think Enzo might actually not even fit. Like,
No.
it would be like,
there's
no way he could actually get out. Let's put it that way, because even if he could technically fit, and that's the thing, even with Lotus, like, there's nothing for them to like grab onto, and they can't jump because it's too tight of an opening.
Yeah, it's very narrow.
Yeah. So, and it you can't tell, but it like curves. Or actually, it would curve like this, and it does weird things. So
I think it looks bigger in the videos, but yeah, we have had a couple people, I feel like, on YouTube, like, are you not afraid that, like, because they go crazy when you leave them in the car? Well, Enzo does mostly. Lotus is really fine with it because he doesn't care. But, like, aren't you afraid they're going to jump out of the window? And I'm like, no, really not. Definitely not a concern for us. If it was a concern for us, trust me, that window would not be open by any means. But it's definitely not a concern.
No. Plus, it doesn't even open all the way.
Yeah.
Like, the way it's latched, like, they can't even, like, it stops them.
Yeah.
Nick, they are not limiting or telling us how much to exercise. I think the going rate in the U.S. is that we don't exercise enough, just in general.
Probably. Okay, on with news and updates. I have 2 more things to go on my list here.
We're going by the list. Okay.
Yeah, I got
We're just making stuff up.
No, we're not flying by the seat of our pants today until we get to Q&A. So most of you know Lotus takes CBD oil on a daily basis. We've kept you guys up to date on that situation and that journey that we started a couple months ago. When we get this new shipment, which comes typically towards the end of the month, I actually switched him from the CBD oil, to like CBD bites. And if you're curious, Honest Paws is the company that we go through for his CBD oil. Yeah, it's in the Amazon store. So I reached out to a rep because before I made the switch, I wanted to make sure, like, hey, is this going to have the same effect that the oil is having? Because I do believe that the CBD oil makes a big difference for his anxiety and reactiveness on a daily basis. So I just wanted to make sure, like, hey, if I switch this, am I going to notice, like, a decline? And she was like, no, absolutely not. Formulated the exact same way, like, no big deal. So I am going to switch him over to the CBD bites. And my biggest reasoning for that is, honestly, like, it's really hard to get him to take the oil.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily because he doesn't like it, because he'll really eat anything that if you gave him something, like, he would eat it.
Doesn't seem to have a smell or a taste. At least, I mean, I haven't tested it. I guess I could.
We've tried multiple different ways of, like, squirting it in his mouth, and the issue we have with that is then he wants to, like, bite the squirter thing, and then we've tried, like, putting it in our palm, but he really can't see it or smell it, so he's like, am I licking air? Like, he really doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
We've tried putting it on a plate, and it's the same situation, so it's kind of become like this battle in the morning where we're like, take your oil, take your oil.
Yeah, we have to put a little bit of peanut butter on a plate in like strategic spots and then put the oil in the middle, so that way he's encouraged to lick all around it.
It's become like this huge process. So I'm like, look, if these bites have the same effect. Like,
actually, that's not what happened. What happened was I said, this has become too much of a process. I'm not doing it anymore. You're going to do it. And then
I was
suddenly, like, hey, you know, there's a bite thing we can get instead.
It's really hard to
After
get
I complained about it for weeks, finally I said, I'm done. He's just not going to take it anymore. And then suddenly she had a solution.
Yeah, and I don't want to take him off of it because I
She's
do
like
think
a
that
car salesman.
it helps him. But yeah, so we are switching to bites on that. So when we get those, I will let you guys see them. We'll give you updates on them, let you know how it's going. With the oil, I think he's getting like...
To be clear, you're not supposed to put it in their food.
You are not. Yeah, so...
Like the peanut butter is just a teensy tiny bit.
Yeah. That's the other thing. It's like, well, if you can just squirt it in his food, just give it to him. That it's not recommended that the CBD oil be mixed with anything else when you give it to him, or else we would just squirt it in his food. Yeah, I should have mentioned that because I feel like people are gonna be like, duh, why don't you just put it on his food?
Yeah.
Not supposed to do that. So I'll keep you guys updated on that and let you guys know how that goes. With the oil, so because of the way that his is formulated, because it's basically for the largest type of dog, because he weighs a significant amount, in just 1 milligram, he's actually getting, like, the way that it's concentrated, he's getting a significant amount of it. So for the bites, I actually have to order 3 bags of those.
I wasn't aware of this.
To equate to the same concentration that he would get through the oil. Costs less.
Oh.
Yeah. Costs tiny bit less. Like, I'm talking like a few dollars less.
All I heard was less.
Yeah. So we're going to have to give him 3 bites a day versus giving him 1 milligram of the oil. So I think it's fine because I think he'll like the treats a little bit better. And that'll make it a little bit easier on us. I'll keep you guys updated on that.
Yeah. Riley's in there. I know you said this at the beginning, but just for people who have missed it, Riley's and Nick are moderators they're going through. So, like, if your question doesn't get answered, like, they're going through them and they're sending them to us. So, like, you don't have to, like, keep saying them in there. Like, I've seen, like, people put the same question multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, I have a list, like, that pops up on my screen that Riley sends me. So,
and
we're
it's
not
linked,
ignoring.
Yeah, it's linked to both of us.
Yeah,
so once I get
time,
finished
so, like,
through the itinerary, I'll pull up that, and Riley and will feed questions through there so that we don't have to look at the chat. So yeah, don't feel like you have to keep putting it in.
Yeah.
Just do it once. Riley and Will will take care of it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if we miss it at the end, sure, but Riley's pretty.
Yeah.
And Nick are pretty much on top of that. So
they're awesome. Okay. Last but not least, and mostly I save this for last because by this time we typically have the most amount of people in here. Will and I watched a sermon on Wednesday evening, which we typically don't do. We don't usually watch the Wednesday night sermons. We go to church service on Sundays. But for some reason, turned it on Wednesday while we were eating dinner, and the title of the message was, "What are you doing with your followers?" So that got me to thinking, and
because we actually have them.
Yeah, because we actually have followers, and I feel like for most people, like, your followers are like your friends, your family, your kids, your acquaintances. But like for us, we have we're fortunate enough to have an insanely large amount of followers due to the pups. So we've been blessed in that way. So basically it was put on my heart, and it kind of was already something I was thinking about. But then when that sermon popped up with that title, basically we decided that we would invite you guys to come to church with us on this Easter Sunday. So I
put the link.
Okay, so he put the link in there. So the link is in there. But our church has an online campus, and I know a lot of churches out there do not, so we're super lucky in that way as well. And because of the quarantine, I just thought that a lot of you either weren't able to make it to church, maybe you don't have a home church yet, whatever the situation is. It was put on our hearts to kind of throw that out there for you guys. Don't spend Easter alone. I promise you, if you watch this church service, you will not regret it. Our church is absolutely amazing. But that's where Will and I will be tomorrow. And I think we're doing like 7 different services tomorrow. So I know like some of your schedules, or maybe you are trying to spend some family time with the family that you have in your house that you're quarantined with. you should be able to find a time on there that fits with your schedule. I believe that they're doing 7 different services. So check out that link. We're also going to post that link in our community tab. So if you didn't grab it now, you can always go back into the community tab and grab it there. I'm going to make sure that that's posted there today. But join us for church on Sunday. Don't spend it alone. We're going to be there. And just thought that that would be something awesome that we can do together.
Yeah. You can watch it on their website or on YouTube. We just watch it on YouTube, honestly.
Yeah. So
it makes life easier.
Yeah. So if you literally just go to YouTube and search in there,
I put it in there.
Yeah, Seven Hills Church. Yep. It'll pop up right on there. They didn't actually used to have that ability to do that, but like that's something that they have recently done, and it does make life a lot easier.
That's because it is really hard. Like, we don't live stream on Facebook simultaneously because it's like easy to stream to one or the other. It is a whole new level if you try to stream to 2 places at the same time. Like, we will never be doing it because it's that involved.
Yeah.
That you will never see us stream to 2 places simultaneously.
Yeah.
It costs a lot of money.
Yeah. So come to church with us tomorrow. We would love to have you guys. You guys are like family to us. We love you guys. You guys are so supportive. And we just don't want you to like not have something to do or somewhere to go. Or like if your church isn't having church service and they don't have an online campus, you can just join us for this one. So, or maybe you'll come back more times. So
Lotus will be there.
Lotus and Enzo do watch church with us. So they're kind of obligated. I think that's it for news and updates.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any. Is there anything else that I missed?
Enzo's doing better.
Oh, I meant to put that in here.
See,
Enzo.
Paragraphs, not the way to go.
I think I did pretty good with the itinerary. Enzo recently, a couple weeks ago. Oh,
Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Don't you say a word about. Okay.
Simon and Friends wanted to send Rowley a super chat.
Jeff had some language last week. He cleaned it up. We didn't have to ban him. That's good.
Enzo had like a stomach ordeal going on, and it was due to he's like, I'm peacing out. It was due to an antibiotic that he was on, and then we got him on a probiotic, and that like still has not fixed his stomach. And so he is like super on the struggle bus right now. So
but this morning he had his first like normal.
Is it getting back to normal? So I had to call the vet because like it's been so long since his stomach has been normal, really. And he is now on a different antibiotic that's meant to like help the belly get back to normal, as well as like a liquid form medicine. It's like some weird name, but it's basically like Pepto-Bismol for pups. So he's been on those for...
Yeah, try giving that too. That requires a lot of peanut butter.
Yeah, he doesn't like it. And he spits out the antibiotic if you don't like get it in there real good. So he's been on those for what, 2 days now, you think?
Yeah, and I've already seen a difference.
Yeah, so and Will's saying he's already seen a difference. So pray for us that we get Enzo's belly back to normal. They've been to the park already today.
They saw the video. They know.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to switch my document over to the document that Riley and Will have access to that allows me to see questions that you guys are asking. So I didn't do too bad on the itinerary. It usually takes me about 30 minutes, and it's been 35 minutes, so didn't do too bad. So I'll get switched over to that, and you guys, if your question has not already been answered by Nick or Riley, that's when I want you to put those questions in. If your questions have already been answered...
Well, you don't know if they've been, because Nick and Riley says...
Mine is blank.
Yours is messed up.
What's up with that?
I don't know. You need to refresh it.
Oh,
there it goes.
wow.
The very first question is from Holly, and she asked, how is Enzo doing? So we just answered that.
Apparently I'm able to read minds. Let's see. Sarah says, how do you keep them from flipping over their water bowls? I got the water bowls that you have for the boys, and my puppy keeps flipping it over. Sarah, do you have the one that eliminates the water from spilling all over, or do you just have like the elevated one?
I don't know how they would flip that over. I mean, I guess I know how if they were just like insanely rough with it, but...
Yeah.
I mean, all puppies kind of do that.
It really is a phase. They all want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see them just like walk up and just like whack it with their paw. Like, what's this gonna do? Like,
yeah. They just want to, they're big play babies.
Yeah.
Oops. But clarify that for me in the chat if you can. And let me know which ones you bought, because we have multiple different bowls in the Amazon store.
The next question had to do with the FJ. I didn't know that was an actual question.
Oh.
In the chat.
So we kind of already answered that.
Yeah.
Are you scared for Enzo and Lotus' sakes concerning the coronavirus, since it's been heard of that animals can also get it?
No, because they're not around anybody.
No. They are not around. They have not had contact with any other humans besides Will and I can't remember how long.
It's been...
like an insanely long time.
I mean, yeah, since it started,
like,
at least.
Yeah. So... we're not too concerned about it. I've not actually, so from what I have read, I've not actually heard that dogs can get it. So I'm hearing the opposite from what you're hearing. I'm sure there's probably some conflicting opinions on that, but we're not at this point worried. Let's see. Nisha, we want to see more of you in the videos. Love to see you interact with the pups. The pups love their mama.
That was asked by Gail.
Gail, yeah. So I am not as lucky as Will. Will gets to be with, well, and I don't know if you really consider that lucky sometimes, because I know it's hard to like do real life and pups all the time. But I'm not as lucky as Will in the sense that, like, I get to work how he works from home. Like, I am currently working from home, but I have to be in meetings and on the phone basically for 8 hours a day. And so I'm locked in the office. So that's why you don't see me as much. And then we're with you guys on Saturday, so we don't do a vlog on Saturday for you guys. And then we take Sundays off, so you don't see a vlog on Sunday. So, like, the only days that I get to spend with the pups and interact with them and hang out like Will does is Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. Or if we're recording in the evening, which isn't that common.
It's really not that common. Like, their recording and, like, editing is happening, like, I mean, they're done by the time for the most part.
I mean, we record usually in the mornings and I edit.
So, like, it's over and done with while I'm at work. So, I know. I would love to be in more. I tried.
You have your own camera and you have access to the pups.
But I'm at work all day.
There's 24 hours in the day and you have no commute time. You have an extra 2 hours a day.
No commute time is nice. Yeah. So, yeah, Gail, that's the story on that.
You could make pup mini vlogs at lunch. Nisha's pup time at lunch.
No. Nathan says, after how long were you guys comfortable having the pups off leash? Because I will be going through off leash canine in 2 weeks, and I'm doing the advanced package. Nathan, you are not going to regret that. That is amazing.
Enzo was several months. Lotus will let you know.
So, like Will said,
it depends what you mean by comfortable.
Yeah.
Comfortable, like I'm comfortable in a field with both of them. I'm comfortable walking through a crowd downtown with Enzo. I'm not comfortable walking near people with Lotus without a leash.
So, like, Enzo, I am comfortable taking Enzo literally anywhere. If I want to take him to the mall, if I want to take him in Target, he's actually gone to Kroger with me multiple times to do, like, full grocery shopping, which takes, like, an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes.
Let's clarify. We don't do that anymore.
We don't do that anymore. No.
We did that because people there knew him from the day we got him, basically.
Yeah.
And they were okay with it.
We haven't done that in a very long time. But comfortable with Enzo all the time.
But yeah, that's why, like, in Lowe's, he's not wearing a leash. Or if he, honestly, more times than not, when you see Enzo wearing a leash, it's for safety because I can't pay attention to him because I'm focusing so much on Lotus that I don't want to risk something happening to him because I'm not alert.
Paying attention. Yeah.
But yeah, Enzo and I have gone downtown before and I've gotten there and realized, oh, I forgot his leash and his collar, his remote, everything. And it's like, whatever, we still go out and walk around Fountain Square and do stuff and take photos and it's no big deal.
He's great. Lotus would be if it weren't for his reactiveness.
If you could get rid of the fear that he has, he would be so much better than Enzo.
It's scary because if he does not have a distraction.
In a vacuum, he's way better. Or, well, not even just a distraction, but a fear distraction. Yeah. Like, even this morning, I didn't even get to tell you this yet, but when we opened the door this morning, there was 2 deer in the backyard. And, of course, they made quick work of that. But, like, Lotus stopped at the property line. Like, he was like, okay.
Yeah.
But if it had been Gus next door, the dog next door, he would property line does not exist.
No. Yeah.
But he's not afraid of deer.
Yeah. He's afraid of other dogs and other people.
Yeah.
So I don't know that we're ever going to get to like a level where we're 100% comfortable with having him off leash like we are with Enzo.
It would have to be, he would have to prove a lot before I would ever feel safe to do it.
Yeah. Yep.
Around, like I said, when I don't know what's coming around the corner.
Yeah. Good question, Nathan. And I'm so happy that you're doing off leash. We've had a lot of subscribers go through that same program that we went through. You won't regret it. It's amazing. And I know some of the locations I feel like have either shut down, but we talked to our trainer last week or the week before, and they were actually still doing training packages. They were just doing them outside instead of at a facility and just making sure that they were keeping that distance like they should be. So that's awesome that you were able to get that in and you're going to do that. Let's see. Rashid.
No. No, we did the Zoom. Yeah.
Rashid says, hello, I have 2 German Shepherds, but I don't know what to do to keep them inside and exercise them.
Get a treadmill.
Then when I live in a compound, so what do you do in quarantine with your dogs? So I feel like we've had this question quite a few times over the past couple months because of the situation that's going on. But we recommend like brain games. There's a lot of brain games for pups that you can get on Amazon.
We should probably put some in there.
We need to do I was even thinking we should do a quarantine section in our Amazon store. Riley sent me the idea. I think it's called and Riley, correct me if I'm wrong on this. It's like a snuffle mat. Where you basically hide these treats in this little mat and the pup has to find them. Those types of brain games are so unbelievably stimulating for them. They will be more worn out from that than if you took them for a mile walk, and I'm not even kidding. It's insane. So brain games are fantastic. We do the find game, which is hide and seek, and you can either do that if you have another human with you. I would stand in one room with the dogs, Will would go hide, and then I would tell them to find. So you can do it with another human where they're finding a human, or you can do it with their favorite treat or favorite toy where they have to search around the house to find it. That's super stimulating. Our pups are wiped out after that.
Riley said snuffle mats.
Snuffle mats, yeah. And I actually have a couple in my Amazon cart that I intend on buying for these guys. So when we do, we'll give you an update on that. But yeah, I think we should create a...
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you see it in the videos, you just don't see a lot of it. You'll see me, doing training and stuff.
Yeah.
And, I'll come upstairs, and you'll be like, where were you guys? And it's we didn't even leave the house. We were downstairs the whole time.
What did you guys just go do? And he's like, we were just working on training in the basement. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so working on training with them with training treats, that'll wear them out. Tug is a good one. That is very stimulating and will wear them out very quickly. So, those types of things you can do. For sure. Let's see.
Nick said the counter bell. I think that's the same as the doorbell. Oh, no. He means an actual counter bell.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Krish, I think is how you pronounce that. Patel, how long did it take to train Enzo to heel?
I mean, it takes 30 minutes for them to teach it, but again, it's in a vacuum.
You have to practice. For a while before they have it down completely.
Because any distraction will take them off.
Yeah, so when we did our training, we did 1 hour sessions for 8 weeks. So basically in that 1 hour session, they teach you heel. Part of that session is the trainer teaching you how to do it properly. And then Will said, about 30 minutes of it is practicing with the pup. So, I mean, they literally do learn it that quickly. But then you wouldn't want to walk out the door and be heeling the pup down the street. That's not going to go well. So we did a lot of practice in the backyard. And then we moved from the backyard to a lot of practice outside on the street because we live on a dead end street. So we had up and down the street. And once we were comfortable with that, we branched out in very small parts of the park. And then we did that during times that we didn't think it would be very busy there.
But a lot of it was him on a leash.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we went downtown and stuff so many times on a leash.
Yeah.
In a heel. even though like he had proven that he could do it,
Yeah.
it was like I need to do it more before I felt comfortable.
Yeah. And then really the last part of practicing and making sure that they have that down is healing with distractions. So that's the hardest one to kind of get through and overcome. But Enzo, I feel like he was pretty good with the whole healing situation.
Yeah.
So every dog is going to be different. Every dog is going to be different for sure. Jasmine said, how many cups of dry food should I be feeding my 4-month-old German Shepherd? He's underweight. I asked the vet tech and she said 2 cups. I feed him like 4 cups and he's still underweight.
I would say, well, check the bag first, but then they should self-regulate, and it could just be very bad food.
Yeah, so Jasmine, if you don't mind DMing me on Instagram, I want to know how much the pup weighs now. Obviously 4 months old, so that helps me. I want to know what food you're feeding. I want to know how many times a day you're feeding the pup. And I'll kind of walk through some things with you from there. I definitely don't think 2 cups is enough for a 4-month-old German Shepherd. So
I don't know how much we were feeding at 4 months for either of them, but there was never a time
where
when
they
only
got,
got
2
2
cups. Even at like 8 weeks old when we brought them home.
I mean, 2 cups is just
nothing.
Not enough.
Enzo at his peak was eating anywhere from 10 to 12 cups a day.
He was 12 to 15 a day.
It depended on the day. It depended on how much exercise he got that day too. Would also depend
Enzo
on
at his peak ate more than Enzo and Lotus combined eat right now.
Yeah. So but like Lotus never got that high.
No.
So it really just depends on the pup. But if you don't mind DMing me on Instagram and giving me that info, we're more than happy to kind of talk through that situation with you. Let's see. Lisa said, what did you think of the link to the vacuum that I sent you on Instagram? Lisa, I did look at that.
I did see that.
Yeah, you didn't get to see it, but basically it does like the UV light and it's meant for like allergens that are in the air. It looks similar to the one that we have, but since we just purchased the Dyson one, probably not going to be purchasing a new vacuum anytime soon.
No, not probably.
Definitely. Let's see. Gavin Alexander says, about how much did the pups cost? I would like to get a black German Shepherd, and I know they can be more expensive because they are more rare. So, Gavin, I would say anywhere in between that $800 to $1,000 range for a purebred German Shepherd. But we've seen them upwards of that, like almost unlimited amounts. So like you said, if you want one that's all black, that probably is going to be a little bit more expensive because it's a little bit more rare. But I would say normal for just like how Enzo and Lotus are, $800 to $1,000. Janet says, how much exercise does my 3-month-old German Shepherd puppy need a day? We have 10 acres. Wow, I wish we had 10 acres. We have 10 acres to roam on. I take her out twice a day for at least 30 minutes. So, Janet, here's what I always tell people who have like small pups, like 2 months, 3 months old. You're going to want to do lots of times a day, but shorter amounts. So, I would say 10 to 15 minutes is completely sufficient. But you would be doing that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day. So you want to do it more times a day, but in shorter spurts. And then kind of as they gradually get older, you're going to extend the amount of time, but take down the amount of times that you actually go outside. And kind of get to a point really, where it is twice a day for 30 minutes or an hour. That would be ideal for like adult pups. So it doesn't take much to wear out a 3-month-old pup, and their brains really need a lot of sleep. So typically 10 or 15 minutes of good exercise outside or even sometimes inside, and they'll sleep for 3 or 4 hours straight after that. So I would say lots of times a day, but shorter spurts than 30 minutes. I would work up to that 30 minutes for sure. James says, when did you guys stop using the slow feeding bowl? How old was he?
Really just when he slowed down. He kind of, Lotus, I think, was probably the runt or something.
I don't know
And
what
he had a
went
lot
on.
of issues with, I mean, he would chase me down the stairs when I was getting the food. He would freak out.
I wish we had a video of how he used to act.
I don't know why I never did video that, but it'd take me about 20 minutes to get his food, because when he would start jumping, because he can't do anything when they're that young, so I would just stand there. And then when he would stop and sit, I would start getting his food out again. And
Yeah.
he'd start jumping and getting excited. And then I would stop and sit. And it took a couple days, and it took several hours over that couple days. But then he realized, like, all right, if I don't sit here quietly, he's not going to get my food out.
Like, you literally would have thought that he was never fed in his entire life. Like,
not only did we use the slow feeder, but I didn't even fill it up all the way at first. And then sometimes I would move it around.
It
and
was
like,
so sad.
Sometimes I would put his food on the floor in pieces and like spread it out. Like, I would do all kinds of things to slow him down.
It was really sad.
But then one day he finally just clicked that, like,
literally, like, it was like a light bulb.
Yeah, it was just one day, like, they're gonna give me food every day. It's not a big deal.
Like, I'm eating, 3, 4, 5 times a day. Like, it's okay. I can chill out.
And after
then
that light switch, he's been the exact opposite.
The slowest eater I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm like, buddy, come on. I mean, it's ridiculous how slow he eats sometimes. I'm like, this is like, he'll stop, he'll meander over. Oh, I got to get a drink of water. He'll get a drink of water for a few minutes, come back over, eat a couple more bites. I'm like, and he eats it all. It's not because he's not hungry. He's just not in a rush to eat anymore. So,
just to clarify, because I knew you were going to start drama when you said that.
What?
Like I said, we don't take them in Kroger's anymore. It's not against the law to take your dog into a store if the store is okay with it.
Yeah.
There are plenty of stores that either allow them, or if you ask them. Target's big on this. Like, if you ask them,
they're perfectly fine.
They're fine with it and stuff.
Which
but
I
you
didn't
can't
even tell you, like, the last few times that I went in Target, which was a while ago, I've seen pups in there as well. So I think that's something that's, like, starting to come around a little bit more. And this area specifically is very pup friendly. Like,
yeah, this city, Cincinnati, for some reason is.
So pup friendly.
But yeah, a lot of stores just allow it, first of all.
Yeah.
And then even stores that don't, and like I said, I mean, everybody knew who Enzo was. They knew his name. I mean, it's just because we were in there from just like day one, basically, and stuff. And so many people knew us. But when we got Lotus, we never.
Yeah.
We basically just stopped.
Yeah.
You know.
We still go in Lowe's.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the last time I took Enzo in Target. But
anywhere that wasn't Lowe's.
It's really Lowe's is the main one that we do now. But when it was just Enzo and us, like, we didn't even have Lotus yet, that is when, and it was only a couple times that I would take him. But yeah, they were completely fine with it. There was no drama involved in that situation. They were A-okay with it. We don't ever put anyone in any kind of uncomfortable situation. Like, we're not about that. So, and if you follow us for any amount of time, you'll realize that. So, yes. Sorry for the drama. Okay. I feel like I got that question already about being afraid of them getting the coronavirus, so I'm going to skip that one.
Riley did. Puppy biting.
I was like reading that. So Riley's saying that we've had like 5 questions in the chat about puppy biting. Zach George has puppy biting videos, and he is one of the ones that we have on our website for like training video purposes, so you might want to check that out. But here's what this is the situation that I tell people, and I swear I get this question multiple times a week. My pup is biting our hands or biting our ankles. First things first, if they're biting any type of furniture around the house or your shoes or the carpet or whatever it might be, you need to make sure that you have teething toys in every room. Will and I even went to the extent of we carried them like in our pockets around the house. And basically what you're going to do is you're just going to replace that behavior with a teething toy and essentially try to distract them. So that's a way to get away from like the biting on the furniture and other things in the house. Now, it's a different story when they're biting you or nipping your ankles, or they just think that your hand is a teething toy. You are still going to want to replace with a teething toy. However, you need to teach them that that behavior is not socially acceptable. And the only way to do that is to yelp or like in a high pitched voice say ouch and just be very like overly dramatic, as most dramatic as you can be about it. Because if they don't have another pup around where they're nipping on that pup and that pup is whining or yelping, it's going to be really hard for them to understand, hey, this isn't really something I'm supposed to be doing. So you kind of have to take over that role and act in that manner. That's the biggest thing that I suggest. The other thing that I tell people, they're a puppy. Like, no matter what you do, this is a stage that they're going to go through, and you really just have to kind of get through it. Distraction is the best thing that you can do, and then yelping to let them know that it's not socially acceptable is very effective. Now, if the whole yelping thing is not working, the other thing that I suggest, and that has been extremely effective for us and for others that we've told this to, put them in a short timeout. Okay, so they're probably going to try to wiggle their way out, but what I tell people is take your right hand, push their butt down to the ground gently.
Don't
not
force
like
them.
force it down, but just like a gentle, like, hey, you need to sit your bottom down. And then take your left hand and hold it against their chest. So basically you're just holding them in a sit. And just hold them there for 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Release them after that. Now, if they go straight back to biting or fixating on whatever it was that they're biting on, just put them straight back into a timeout. So you would do this over and over again if, when they come out of that timeout, they continue the behavior. The first time that you let them go and they come out of that timeout and they don't do the behavior, so they're not biting you or biting furniture or doing whatever they were doing to fixate, lots of positive praise. Like, make a huge deal out of it. The timeout, I feel like, is the most
We did that
effective
with Lotus either
method.
this morning or yesterday because he didn't have his collar on, and we still
Yeah.
do that when we don't have his collar.
And like, he weighs 75 pounds, and like, he was trying to kind of like wiggle his way out of it. He wasn't happy about it. But like, it's a short amount of time that you need to hold him there.
And they pick that up quick too.
They do.
Lotus used to jump a lot out of his crate, and he doesn't have his collar on because we don't leave it on him. So I would put him back in his crate immediately and lock it for like 5 seconds and then let him back out. Took him 3 times to catch on to that, and he's never done that again.
Yeah. It's very effective. They don't like the whole like
as much,
being
I mean,
restricted,
you know how much they love praise. So when you do the exact opposite of praise, which is you make them do nothing, they're like, oh wait, I don't like this.
Yeah. Let's see. Carol Bolton says, do your dogs ever get bored? I don't think so.
Enzo will let you know he's bored.
It's kind of annoying, actually.
Yeah, he will straight come up. Like, if Enzo was bored right now, he'll come up and, like, whack his nose.
Like, if your hand is, like, typing or something, he'll come underneath of you and push your hand up off of the desk or whatever. But I feel like for the most part, like, you guys go in the morning, they get worn out, you guys have your routine, you come home, they pretty much sleep or nap.
Yeah, or they play.
And, you know, they have their meals. They have lots of toys here at the house. And then we do something. We've been going out to, like, the front yard in the evening now and sitting on the porch and whatnot. We do that in the evening, but... Yeah,
normally we would go to the park or something again, but we're not. But
I don't feel like ours really get too bored. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, usually
it's rare.
Yeah,
now, if like one of us is sick or both of us are not feeling well or something,
Lotus
I would say
will never imply that he's really.
He's like he will just like he's perfectly
very docile.
Yeah. He's like, hey, I don't really need exercise today. I'll just lay here and hang out with you guys. Like, this is him. Like, he's perfectly fine with us. He does not require a whole lot. Enzo, on the other hand.
Yeah, he'll let you know.
He lets you know.
Like, there's been days where it's rare, but there's been like a few days where I didn't get to take them somewhere. You come home from work and you would know it immediately because of Enzo. Yeah. But Lotus, you would never know it.
Yeah. Hannah says, hi, I was just wondering if you guys would be able to do a video on how you introduced your dog to your cat. Sorry if you've already done one. I'm a new subscriber. Hannah, thank you for subscribing. So we get asked this a lot, and we don't really do like anything super special to introduce them. One of the things that we take into consideration is we want to make sure that we bring a pup into the house versus an adult dog into the house because that gives her a little bit of an advantage. The other thing is that I always tell people is make sure that the cat or cats, if you have multiple, have an area that they can get to that the pups cannot get to. So in our case, we have an office upstairs, and she has like a cat condo in that like lines up to the window so she can like be up above where they are. And then her food and water is also in there. So the pups can normally be in there. But when we did not want them to be in there, for example, like when we first got them, we attached this little latch on the outside of the door where basically it allows the door to be open like that much where she can still fit through. But like if a pup ran up to the door, they wouldn't be able to fit through. So we always recommend like making sure that the cat has a space that they can go to that the pup can't get to. And then in addition to that, like we just really set boundaries and rules from the beginning. So we have never let either one of them bark at the cat.
Usually it's like clapping and like loud noise. It's the same with like we have the tree back in our backyard that just has some rocks around it. And I can count on one hand the number of times either pup have stepped in that tree.
Because they know they're
because
not
they
allowed.
from day one it was hey and like real
Yeah.
loud clapping and like no like
Yeah.
and they picked up real quick on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen them chase deer and like
they won't
stop.
go into that area there.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you set that boundary and those rules from the beginning. So anytime that, and like we never had an issue with Enzo, so I'm not really speaking about Enzo on this, but Lotus, anytime that he would bark at the cat when he was a pup, anytime that he would chase her, there were multiple times where like he would go to like grab her or like paw her. Anytime
You got to protect Lotus from Rally.
now you do. Anytime that would happen, we made sure that there was a consequence. So that goes back to the whole putting them in timeout thing. So hopefully you were there for that part. If not, go back and listen to it. But basically, it's a very firm off instead of no. We never use the word no because you use no in normal language so much. Use the word off. So it's a very firm off, and then put them in that timeout for 10 or 15 seconds. If they go after the cat as soon as you release them, stick them back in that timeout and just repeat that process over and over again. They will catch on quickly. So make sure you're establishing those boundaries and those rules from the get-go. The other thing that I tell people is like, we let Rally swipe them.
Yeah.
Like, if it's not, like, if he's not really going after her, he's not barking at her, he's not chasing at her, he's just kind of, like, you know, sniffing her and aggravating her a little bit, like, where he's not really doing anything wrong, he's not really crossed a boundary.
He's not going to hurt her.
We let her swipe him to let them know, like, hey, like, she doesn't like that. And
Yeah,
we've
she's
never
whacked him a few times.
Yeah, we've never told her that she couldn't do that. We allow her to do that. So we allow her to put our pups in their place if it ever comes to that, where
I like how you say, like, we've never told her, like, you can tell her anything.
well, we don't ever yell at her
Yeah.
for doing it. We let her do it. So that's also kind of a thing. Now, I know some cats are more like docile. Rally is not. She has no problem swiping the pups if she feels necessary. So now we pretty much, like Will said, we kind of protect Lotus from Rally because she's gotten him like a couple of times recently, I feel like.
Yeah, so I saw a couple people. I saw Riley just said that YouTube, the audio's not syncing right now.
Oh.
And literally the error popped up on my screen from
Okay.
YouTube. I don't know if that's been happening the whole time or not, Riley. If our voices have been off. If it has, let me know, because that may be something I can fix. But
Yeah. Yeah, we do have an error on our ends right now. So let us know.
our internet's been sucking lately, too. Because
Yeah.
apparently people have nothing better to do than to watch Netflix and YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, like
So,
last night was really bad, and then today I was Zooming with my small group, and it was rough. So yeah, sorry, we apologize. Hopefully it's not like too terrible where you guys like can't watch it. Moving on to the next question, which really isn't a question, it's a Riley note.
Oh, you can ignore
Ignore that.
Yeah.
Okay. Jessica says, oh, I've never heard of those. What is your opinion on flexi leads?
I don't know what that is.
Don't know what a flexi lead is. Riley
I'm
might though,
surprised
because
Nick or
Riley
Riley didn't know
yeah,
what that
because
was.
Riley's very knowledgeable of that type
Nick
of stuff.
will usually tell you what it is and then give you 8 other examples of it.
Yeah, Jessica, I don't know what those are. So let me find out what they are first, and then I'll give you my opinion on it if I'm educated enough to speak on the topic.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes, we are not for those. No.
You mean retractable ones?
Yeah, retractable leashes. No, we've never been a fan of those. I feel like you're even less of a
We've never
fan
even
than I
owned
am.
one.
Nope.
I never even let you buy one.
Nope.
Yeah. One, I don't think they're strong enough. But two, it's just not good. There's a lot of we don't have to get into it, but
yeah,
there's just a lot of things I don't like about it. But
yeah.
above and beyond, I seriously think like Enzo or Lotus would just snap that thing in half.
Yeah, I agree.
We did have one for Rally for a brief time.
Oh yeah, we did.
I don't know if we still do.
You know what? That was meant for Evo though, because Evo, when we had her, like she actually loved to go for walks and be outside. Like you could just put a little harness on her and do the little.
Like if we were like going to a drive-through for dinner or something, we'd take her with us.
She was like the best cat ever.
Scared the crap out of some girl at Wendy's because like she came out like she was like, "Where's the cat?"
Like, oh, I didn't realize there was a cat in the car. Yeah, so we used to have one for the cat. For cats, I think they're okay. Not for dogs though. We're not a fan. So Steven/49 says, for crates, you putting teething toys and blanket in the bed and a blanket over the crate do I need more for the pup?
I think he's asking, do you need more than that? I don't think so.
No, so...
We just have a crate mat and one chew toy. Mm-hmm. Honestly, they mostly ignore it.
They ignore the toy. We have crate mats in both of them. The teething toy only goes in with Lotus, but they don't really go in the crates very much anymore. But it used to only go in with Lotus. Now, at nighttime is really the only time that I would cover it, I think. I don't know that
when they're a puppy, we would cover. You don't want to block the airflow.
No, you want to make sure you have enough airflow coming in.
Then we would crank up the fan usually.
Yeah, I usually just would leave like an inch or two.
All around it.
So at the bottom. Just so that they could get that fresh air in there.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think you need any more than that. I think
we never left beds, mostly because I think we're just worried if they got too hot. There's nothing. There's no way for them to escape
down.
it. Yeah. Like it's not a crate mat's not as comfortable, but they were only in it for a couple hours at a time. Yeah. So we did put his bed in at night though.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah. Gavin Alexander says, I've read that GSDs are susceptible to hip dysplasia. That would be correct. How have y'all tried to prevent that, especially when they were little puppies? So
that's going back to the beginning.
Yeah,
there's lots of videos on that.
Yeah, we do have quite a few videos on that. When they're really little, the biggest thing is that you don't want to over exercise them, and you want to make sure that the exercise you're doing with them is low impact. So like hiking, swimming, walking, not jumping, not like a ton of like fetch where they would jump up in the air and come down on those joints, because they're not fully developed at that time and you can really hurt their joints that way. So that's a way to kind of battle it a little bit when they're super young. Just make sure you're not over exercising them. When they hit 6 months, what we did with ours is we put ours on 2 different joint supplements, which are in the Amazon store, which I'm sure the link is somewhere around here. One of them is Dasaquin, and the other one is fish oil. The fish oil they get twice a day. The Dasaquin they get once a day. And so that helps with like their joints and making sure that they stay strong. It's just basically very natural supplements.
Yuki clarified... if a flexi lead is the one that has like the, what would you call it, the like rubber band, like it flexes a little.
Oh, like it'll
We've used those. I don't particularly like them.
Will hated it. I didn't mind it.
But there was nothing inherently wrong with it, especially if you're working on pulling and stuff, because it does give them It does give them a little bit of a soft, it like eases the pull a little bit. So yeah, we've used those. I thought it was the retractable ones. That's what Google pulled up. So
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, if that's what it is, we actually have one of those somewhere.
I think we still have it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those aren't too bad. I don't mind that one at all.
Yeah,
I just like it because when Enzo used to pull, it just allowed a little bit more of a cushion for myself and for him too.
Yeah.
So yeah, those I think are perfectly fine. What else do we have? Jennifer says, what do the pups think of Nisha being home all the time? Did it throw off their routine, or are they over the moon? I honestly think sometimes they forget that I'm
Yeah.
here because I literally close the office door just because I have to be on the phone and in Zoom sessions, that if they make any kind of crazy noise, whatever client I'm talking to or whatever Zoom meeting I'm in, they're going to hear that.
You should see Enzo's ears go walk by. Like, people have
Oh,
commented
yeah.
on their Zoom meetings.
Yeah,
Like,
so,
did
like,
anybody else see ears go walking by?
it's easier when I'm in Zoom because I can just mute myself unless I have to talk. But like the way that the computer sits elevated on the desk, you can actually see kind of down a little bit. And you can just see Enzo come in the office, but you can only see his little ears right above the desk. And he just comes around and then goes back out. And people have noticed that.
Who have been like, did anybody else
Did
see
anybody
that
else
massive thing
see
walk
the
by?
dog? Yeah, because he's really tall. So I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they forget I'm here, and then like they'll hear
We'll come
me.
home from like lunch or go upstairs after lunch. Yeah. and
Yeah,
Lotus
they'll
will be
hear
like,
me
"What?"
open the door, and they're like, "Oh, mom's home," and like Lotus is just excited as can be, like it's just like I actually came home from work. But other than that, I don't feel like it's really been much of an adjustment for them. Now, when I go back to work,
That might be.
I feel like it will be an adjustment, not so much for Lotus, but for Enzo. Because he tends to get a little like, I don't know, I feel like he kind of got like that with you a couple summers ago when you were working out of the house for a significant
She
amount
got
of time.
out of the car last night, and Enzo barked, and instead of being embarrassed, you would have thought she was the happiest person on earth, because he never barks when she leaves.
He doesn't bark because literally we were deciding like who's going to get out of the car, and I'm like, well, I'll get out because he's going to throw a fit if you get out, so it'll just be less barking. And I got out, and like he threw a legit fit like he does when Will gets out of the car, and I was like, he never does that with me. So he was like legitimately mad that I was leaving him, and I'm like, he doesn't usually do that. So yeah, he gets attached.
Oh, got a super sticker from Adam.
Thank you, Adam. Oh, and
That's the.
oh, it's the
yeah,
same thing.
that's Adam,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's see. Marcella,
And
I
Nick
think.
did comment. He did know that was a training leash. Of course he did.
Marcella says Gentle Giants isn't available locally. Any other suggestions for dog food? We also have a Jack Russell Chihuahua and also a blue tick coonhound.
You're kind of in the midst of.
It would be nice to feed them the same if possible.
You're kind of in the midst of a deep dive into food research, I feel like. I don't know that you have an answer yet.
Yeah, I don't have a good answer for you, Marcella, because we really love the Gentle Giants brand, so much so that like I really don't want to take our pups off of it. I'm trying to think. So, Marcella, clarify with me. You've checked Amazon. You've checked Chewy.
Well, she's saying it isn't available locally. She didn't say it wasn't available on the internet. She's just saying locally. Walmart and Target are the only brick and mortar store. They do now. They're the only brick and mortar stores that sell it. Walmart being the oldest, the one that's had it the most.
The longest, yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I don't know because we haven't put a whole lot of
Not
research.
anything that like I would feel comfortable recommending to you and like being educated
not that
enough.
there's not other good foods. I just don't know what they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of debate out there, I guess.
And I don't want to lead you in the wrong direction, so I don't really have a good answer for you, unfortunately.
But you are doing research on
I
that.
am doing research now, yeah.
So.
Dana says Ranger loves the river and swimming. We have a dog pool for him. Do the pups like to play in water? So
I'll have to post that video.
we have a, like, in the summer, we have, like, this little inflatable pool that I got from Target a couple years ago, and we blow it up, and we fill it up with water. It's actually pretty deep. I would say, I don't know, 1.5 feet, 2 feet or something like that. Enzo, I think, enjoys it. Enzo likes water. He likes the hose.
He likes the ball because he, like, goes down and
yeah,
cuts it.
he will put the ball in there, and then, like, he'll do, like, if you were, like, what's the one game at the
Bobbing for apples?
Yeah, like, he'll do, like, bobbing for apples.
With his glow ball.
With his glow ball in there, and, like, he loves to put his entire face down into the water. Like, he does not even care one bit. So he loves water.
Lotus has been in it once. Took me like over an hour to
It
get
took
him.
us a while to convince him
I
to get
actually
in
had
there.
to almost basically force him with a leash, which I really didn't want to do.
Yeah.
But
Once
I could.
he got in there, he was fine.
Yeah, once he did it, he was fine.
Yeah.
Then he would go in and out, no problem.
Yeah. So, I say they enjoy water, but Enzo definitely more so. Did you hear something, Pup?
You got something to say?
You look awful sleepy. You probably need to lay back down. Let's see. Really? Tate said, "What's the pup's favorite color?" I do not know.
Red.
Enzo would be red. Lotus, purple.
Purple?
I like purple. Please don't lick the cover. Pup, pup. Hey, pup. He's always got to be licking something. All right, I think we got through most of the questions. It is almost 2:20, so I feel like we did pretty good today. We went a little over an hour, not by much, so we might be getting a little bit more efficient.
Doubtful.
Anything you want to add? Talk about anything you see in the chat that we need to address?
No, not necessarily. I mean, Riley seems to have gotten most of it. James just asked, should they drink pool water? Definitely not.
We don't let ours drink any water except for the water that we give them either like out of the bottle at the park or here at the house. Like, not even like off the ground.
I mean, pools have chlorine in them. So don't ever drink pool water.
Yeah. He may have meant like if you fill up a kiddie pool with like the hose water. Yeah. That's a little bit different. But not like if you have a chlorine pool at your house, absolutely not.
Lisa said this made her day better.
Oh, thanks, Lisa. That's what we're here You're still continuing the daily-ish quarantine vlogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next one will be Monday.
Keep the comments coming. There's like literally 5 million right now sitting in YouTube that I have not gotten to because they're
slacking. It's the commute to work. It's been taking it out of her.
I can't keep up with the comments. Like, there's so many comments every time that I get in there. Like, and then I will get through, a couple hundred of them, and then I'll wait in a few hours, and I'll get back in there, and there is like 5 million comments again. So I am behind on YouTube comments currently, and I haven't been inside of Instagram yet today, so I'm sure there are lots of messages, and they were waiting for me. So keep the comments coming. Like I told you guys last week, that really does get us through the day. Lots of positivity lately coming through those comments and just kind of how we're making your guys' day better and getting you through, what's going on in the world. So
Riley's still driving around the UK terrorizing people.
Poor Riley. All right. Anything else you can think of before we let him go? We will see you, obviously, next Saturday. We'll be on, and we'll have a new schedule for you guys. Don't forget about joining us for church tomorrow. The link, I'm going to put that in the community tab. It's also in the chat. Have a good Easter.
Riley's driving to the grocery store. So just avoid the grocery store. People are crazy in the grocery store lately.
They are. The grocery store is insanity.
I see kids in there. It's like, no.
It's insanity. Anything else you can think of? Okay. Well, we loved spending this time with you guys. Again, we'll see you next Saturday. Be careful.
Yeah.
Keep up the social distancing. Hopefully you can spend time with your family tomorrow as best as you can.
If anybody needs a lawyer, some legal advice, SP is just going crazy.
I'm pretty sure like she can only do that in certain states, but I don't know.
I'm sure.
And I believe she's on the East Coast somewhere. I'm pretty sure SP is.
I can honestly say I don't go around stalking people like you, apparently.
I know Jeff and his wife are from New Orleans.
Oh, you know what, though? She's mailed us stuff, and for some reason I want to say, yeah, you might be right. I do feel like that was.
I think SP is on the East Coast. But yeah, So we love you guys. Take care.
Thanks, Nick and Riley.
Yeah, thank you, Nick and Riley, for being here with us. We're going to need to touch base with you guys at some point in time to come up with a new schedule.
Maryland, D.C.
There you go. Yep.